Another big day for Jordan Mason. So when is Christian McCaffrey coming back? According to Ian Rappaport, he's hoping for an early November return, maybe around, he didn't say this, but early November would be week 9. So that could be the time for McCaffrey. He's back from Germany after getting that treatment, and we'll see what happens there. Nick Chubb could start practicing this week. I guess he's making better than expected progress. So if he starts practicing, they have a 21-day window to activate him and get him going, or otherwise he's out for the season. But once he starts practicing off the PUP list, then that clock starts. So Nick Chubb could be back maybe this month or this upcoming October. Aaron Rodgers is dealing with issues in both of his legs. Saw him grabbing, I think, at his hamstring at one point in this game. He says he's okay. He's not going to miss time. Jonathan Taylor left with an ankle injury. He seemed optimistic about playing in week 5, so we'll cross our fingers there. And his teammate Anthony Richardson also might not miss any time. He has a hip issue, so maybe the Colts get some good reports and progress from their two.
It would be fantastic for Richardson because this is one of his easiest matchups that he'll get in week 5 against Jacksonville.
Speaking of Jacksonville, all right, so we knew I told you the Travis Etienne thing. We thought he had a shoulder injury. He came back in, I guess, hopefully fine. This was a tough one. Tyler Bidet left in the first quarter, took a big hit, and then it just kind of collapsed on the sideline. So I don't see an update on him, but let's hope that he is okay. And at that point, all 3 running backs had 1 carry. He had 2 catches. Bidet had 2 catches. McLaughlin had 1 catch. So it was a mess. And then Javonte Williams had a pretty good game for them. Cordell Patterson left in the second quarter. He was outperforming Najee Harris at that point. They both had 6 carries, but Patterson had 43 yards. Harris had 5. Harris ended up with a solid game. Rashee Rice is the big one. We already told you it could be a torn ACL. Tampa Bay wide receiver Trey Palmer left with a concussion. Christian Watson hurt his ankle. Not a soft tissue injury. He says he thinks it's just a sprain, but this is going to be a big waiver wire focal point. The Packers passing game. Tucker Kraft stepping up. Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Dobbs is still available in some leagues. But Christian Watson, pardon me. Christian, guys, say something about Christian Watson.
It looked ugly.
He left. Dontavian Wicks came alive in the second half. Kraft did too. And the guy who really came alive was Jordan Love. He was better than expected and threw a ton. Huge numbers, obviously, but 3 interceptions kind of takes the shine off of the stat line. Not that fantasy managers are complaining if you started Jordan Love, but I think you can kind of see the direction that this Packers offense is going in. And if Christian Watson misses any time, Dontavian Wicks looks like he'll be the one to take over.
All right. And what else do I got here? Some guys. Oh, we lost one of our best tight ends, Taysom Hill. He left in the second quarter. He had already scored 2 touchdowns at this point, but he left, I think, with a chest injury or a neck injury.
Can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Abdomen injury.
Abdomen. Okay. Yeah. Different than the chest injury that he previously had. Kittle left but came back. And then there's a bunch of offensive line news that I won't bore you with. Kyron Williams has scored in 7 straight games. That is the longest streak in the NFL per the broadcast on Fox. Oh, let's see that any big. Yeah, there were some big names that got hurt on defense. I don't know if any of them are huge, but Fred Warner was one of them for the 49ers. I mean, I don't know if any of them are long term. And then 3 players fumbled. Carson Steele fumbled, seemed to lose his job. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled. And then the big one was Madison. He fumbled. Not Madison. Zamir White fumbled, returned for a touchdown. He really let the Browns back in the game. Madison was in on the next drive. I don't know if White ever got back in the game. It was in the fourth quarter. Maybe late.
Looking at it right now.
Yeah, so that's one to keep an eye on here.
Right. He played 2 more snaps. It happened in the fourth quarter. He played 2 more snaps after that.
Yeah. So, they're trying to salt the game away, and it wasn't really with Zamir White after he fumbled. So that's one to keep an eye on.